Jacob.
I'm Ryan. My name is Braden Thurston, and so you want to get that job. You want to take those few steps to being an adult. You want to go from just another average teen to making a paycheck. Well, making a job and landing that job really consists of three parts: the interview, the cover letter, and the resume. Now, these three aspects really come together to formulate just one good exposition of your first impression in the person you really are. If you don't know, if you really kind of lost in life and you go to a job interview, you really find yourself and figure out what type of person you are, what your work ethic's like, and just how successful you want to make yourself. It all begins with your cover letter. Your cover letter is your first impression to that employer. You're addressing them one-on-one, why you get the job, why you should have the job, and why you're the best fit. When you type your cover letter up and you're assessing that person and you're just speaking about what the requirements they are and what the requirements for that job are, you may be lacking in some of those positions, but you could possibly make up for those in your interview. When you have your cover letter, you really just want to express your personality, who you are, what you're like around the workplace, and just express yourself in the most personal manner. But on the opposite hand, you have your resume. Your resume is a more professional, clean, and just straightforward experience of you expressing your qualifications, your education, and your prior experience. Those three things can really come back to help you or hurt you in the end. If you don't have any previous experience, it kind of shows that you maybe are lacking, or this could be your first job and you have no previous experience. But your other qualifications could be done from your education, such as school, like after-school programs, NHS. You have your community service groups, your key clubs. Those can really help you on your resumes, along with just parental support and other, not to say people who can just help you up and back you up for the human being that you are. But when you write your resume, you don't want it to be bland. You don't want it just to look like another resume. You don't want to be able to pull it off Google Images and tell you that here's just another resume. You want to be original. You want to make it one above. You want to be the best you can be. You want to make it look the best and see the best and read the best. But none of that really matters unless you can back it up in the interview. The interview, which is where some people either shine or they struggle, it really is just a process that needs a lot of research and a lot of preparation. And if you can't put those in, you might not have the experience or the work rate to work at this job or facility. When you go to an interview, such as my interview when I interviewed at Studio Movie Girl, they came up with a lot of personal questions, a lot of what would you do in this situation? How would you handle this? They would ask you have an angry customer come up, that there's a hair in their food, like what do you do? You want to be able to handle those situations and come off you want to come off straightforward, but you don't want to come off as very demanding or exclusive. You don't want to just chop your answer off right at the end. It's a conversation at the end of the day. You just want to have a question and have an answer. You don't want to expand it and you don't want to diminish it. During your interview, it's great to back your resume up and back your cover letter up. But this can also come into where if you maybe made some false truths up on your resume and said that you weren't qualified for the job, they can really expose you in that sense and asking you personal questions about your previous work and your other jobs that you may have had and see if you were being honest or not in those fields. Also, when you're at a interview, you want to be organized, you want to be confident, you want to be clean about your words and make sure you don't slur, make sure you don't run on. You want to make sure that when you open that door and they get your first impression of how you're dressed, how you look, how you prepared yourself, they can really see what kind of person you are. When you walk through that door, you want to shake their hand, look them in the eye, let them know that you're the person for this job. At the end of the day, though, it's really all an opinion. It's really just who's best fit, and all you can do in your sense is like an oral exam. Just make yourself be the best you can be, and hopefully that you are the chosen one for that job. So if you land this job, it goes to being another adult. You finally are not just another teen just wondering about being another statistic. You have purpose. You have a paycheck coming in at the end of the day. And once you're an adult, it's just the first steps of life and what you want to do the rest of your life. And I hope that one day you will too be a successful adult. Thank you. I ran on at the end. That was 4 seconds left, and my boy, I'm done.